Hi, my name is Andrew. Welcome to the first in a series of interviews with recurring special and only guest M. Field. Okay, just introduce yourself now.
But you just did that.
Yeah, but it'd be good if you do it too.
Okay.
People would like that. I'm M. Field. Nice. So my first question is to do with coffee. I've noticed that in several of your songs, not just with M. Field, but with your band Beatenberg, you've made references to coffee. And I've also seen images, coffee-related images, in some of your artwork and doodles and general, media output. I wonder if you could tell me, do you just love coffee, or is there something that figures in your imaginative world? Maybe you can explain why coffee-related images are something that crop up so often with you. How much do you know about the history of coffee? Have you ever considered writing a book about coffee? Have you read any books about coffee? When last did you drink coffee? What was the last coffee you drank? Um, was it good? Do you prefer flat whites or cortados? How do you make your coffee at home? What's the best coffee you ever had? Are there any good coffee spots near you that you could recommend to us? Have you thought about the ethics and politics of coffee? Don't feel obliged to answer all the questions, of course. And lastly, would you like a coffee? I've already had a coffee today, so I'll just have tea, please. Thank you. That's fine. Oh, thanks. Cheers. Thanks. Cheers. Um, yeah, so coffee is a thing. I do like coffee. Awesome stuff. That's M Field, everyone. We're gonna take a short break. Back in a sec. I don't really drink that much. I have usually one a day. Sometimes I have two for either pleasure or necessity. Um, I don't think it's bad. I guess it's um I would say that you can look at the mentioning of coffee in my songs and things as part of a broader mythologizing or discourse of coffee that has gone on for a long time. It kind of makes me think of, like, Roland Barthes' essays about wine, about red wine, acting about it in a certain way. And that, I think, is wine can be associated with poetry and song. All these other properties, almost these mystical properties of red wine, paint a more attractive picture of how this thing features in our lives, and that, I think, is more palatable for people. I think coffee probably has a similar place in culture. It's an accepted drug. It's heady. It's potent. There's an espresso in Italy on a balcony, where you have nothing to do but dream and love. Or there's the coffee in a polystyrene cup that you get in order to, complete the menial tasks of your monotonous day, like, Dunkin' Donuts. But none of those are my kind of coffee. My kind of coffee is sort of, I go between using a Bialetti stovetop thing, stainless steel one. The way I've prepared coffee at home the most has probably been with a V60 dripper. Like, a friend of mine gave me like a red ceramic one. The story of a certain commodity. Oh, I don't know why I have these of yours. Oh, sorry, I'll give them back to you. Here we go. Thank you. I would like to read a book on coffee. I remember finding an interesting looking one. I'll have to like revisit that. Well, that really is fascinating stuff. Well, that really is interesting stuff you're talking about there. Um, a lot on coffee, you know. But there's a reason we have you on the show today, and you've got a new single out. It's called Hyenas, and it's on all major streaming platforms as well as being on YouTube. There's a very heartwarming and reasonably amusing video that you made for it too. And yes, to sort of wrap things up, I thought it only fitting that we give you a chance to talk a little bit about the song. What were you thinking when you wrote it? What were you thinking? Could you tell us what the song is about? Could you tell us what the inspiration is behind that song? And thanks very much for being on the show. And so I suppose sometimes when I mention coffee and songs, I'm trying to invoke that sense of like heady optimism, and everything feels interesting and resonates very richly in that kind of mood, the coffee mood. Often people will talk about coffee. They'll say like, but it's the ritual. It's the ritual that I like. But I think it's kind of funny how when there's a clear, but perhaps uncomfortable fact, the impulse to embroider it is so strong. It's like coffee clearly is, there's caffeine in coffee. You have it, you feel a certain way. It affects people, affects me, and it's a positive effect mostly. I mean, it does result in feeling a